Transformations allow us to take a graph we know, like for instance in this case, the graph of y equals the absolute value of x, and we're able to graph a much more complex graph simply by knowing how things affect it. And there's a list of basic ones. We've already kind of worked with horizontal and vertical shifts, but now we're also talking about shrinking and stretching. So let's look at this. So the graph of y equals the absolute value of x is just a nice little v here. And what happens is pretty much you start moving the vertex as you move it horizontally and vertically, and then you'll have to either shrink or expand it based on the factor it's multiplied by. So this here, the horizontal shift. Well, the horizontal shift is whatever inside the function. So in this case, the x plus 4. And we always move it in opposite, so this is plus, so this means we want to move it as if it's minus, so we're going to go to the left, the negative 4. So 4 units to the left. Now what factor is it shrunk or stretched vertically, and how is it reflected? Well, we have this 1/4. A 1/4 or any fraction is going to shrink it vertically, and it's going to be by that factor of, so we know it's A or D. And the negative means reflected over the x-axis. So, shrunk vertically, reflected over the x-axis. And that just means, like, for instance, this, for a negative, would be like this. We're reflecting it down over the x-axis. And then what's the vertical shift? Well, the vertical shift is whatever's here tacked onto the end, and we match the signs. This is plus, so this means move it up, or move it to the positive version, 3. So 3 units upwards. And now if we were to graph this, let's go back here, and I'm going to delete move the sides. So we start with this, and then we're going to move 4 units to the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So our vertex now is here. And then what do? Well, we shrink it vertically by a factor of 1/4 and reflect over the x-axis. So that means is we get narrower and we go down. And obviously, with the shrinking and the stretching, a lot of times you will have to pick some points, you just 1 or 2, to get an idea of by how much, because obviously you're kind of guesstimating. And here I'm just, showing you what it would look like. And then a vertical shift, we're going to move 3 units upwards. So then we're going to take this, we're going to go 1, 2, 3. So our axis now is here, but we're still narrow and we're still pointing down. So this purple graph would be our final graph. We're able to do that without a calculator and fairly quickly and easily, thanks to how we understand how these transformations affect graphs.